Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to come up with some wild, and I mean wild, theories in regards to this year's Bad Blood. Now of course, as always, the wrestling world completely lose their minds when something happens on social media, and of course Cody Rhodes appeared on the Pat McAfee show and basically teased the fact that there potentially could be a major video sort of package vignette aired at this year's Bad Blood. He also potentially teased a certain big man coming back. Now out of context, that doesn't sound too good, right? But you get where we're going here. There potentially could be a major superstar returning at Bad Blood. Major superstars returning at Bad Blood. Now of course this is all speculation, this is fan theory, but I love it when there's this sort of speculation because it just gets you excited for what is now going to be the main event. And of course, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns taking on the Bloodline members Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. And talking about that being the main event, I want to get your thoughts and opinions on whether you think this should actually main event, because the general consensus amongst most WWE fans is they'd like to see Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk in that Hell in a Cell match go main event, because that feud deserves it. But what do you think? Now I'm personally of the opinion that I'm all down for this Bloodline Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes tag match to main event, because something major is going to happen. If they're going to main event with this, they have got to deliver. So I think they've thrown all their eggs in one basket, committed fully to this, and they're going to go all in. Now, as I said on this video, we're going to do a few kind of theories along the way, potential returns and likely returns, potential surprises, storyline progressions and all of that. Now, in terms of a likely return, I think it's safe to say it's very likely we're going to see the return of Raquel. More than likely, she's going to help and come to the aid of Liv Morgan, screw Rhea Ripley, and sort of return as this enforcer to Liv Morgan. Kind of what Solo was to Roman. Well, not on that level, but you get where I'm going. I can see Raquel sort of being Liv Morgan's bodyguard and Liv Morgan sort of hiding behind Raquel. I do honestly believe Raquel will return to screw over Rhea Ripley. We've also got the possibility that we could see the return of Charlotte Flair. I do think they'll hold this off for a little while until SmackDown, but there is a chance. Nia Jax, of course, facing Bayley when Nia Jax wins, which I think she will. And no, I don't think it's going to be Tiffy time just yet. Can't see her cashing in just yet, but I think Nia will retain. And it's well possible that we see Charlotte Flair return, stake her claim, and sort of challenge Nia Jax for that title. But down the line, inevitably, of course, we're going to get Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. And I think it should be at WrestleMania. That would be the place to do it, in my personal opinion. We could, I don't think we will, but we could potentially see the Wyatt Six on the show. Maybe Uncle Howdy makes an appearance. Maybe they get involved in the Judgment Day shenanigans. But I think their eyes are on The Miz and the Final Testament. I think that's the direction they're going to go in, and I don't think it will happen at Bad Blood, but they could go after Finn in a massive swerve and get involved in the Damian Priest match. Now, we cannot forget for one single second who is hosting this year's Bad Blood. Of course, the current women's tag team champions in Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Now, we've had the Pluto logo teasers in the background in previous weeks, so there is well the possibility, and I know it's a massive stab in the dark and very unlikely to happen, but what if we get some teases between these two and a returning Alexa Bliss and potentially a reunion between Alexa and Sister Abigail in Nikki Cross? What do you reckon? It could happen. We could see some sort of technical issues and creepy sort of eerie segments in the background sort of thing, potentially to accelerate this future storyline. What do you reckon? Now, of course, the main event. We got to talk about the main event. There are so many shocks and twists and turns that could go down. I made a whole list. Some likely, some pretty ridiculous. But as always, we like to speculate on this channel and throw the wildest theories. I mean, we did predict that Jimmy Uso was going to turn on Jey Uso at that SummerSlam. And he did. And I know fans at the time thought I was absolutely nuts coming out with that theory, but it happened. Now, if we go for the more likely scenarios, I think it's pretty likely, there's a chance, certainly, from the progression we've seen on SmackDown lately, that Kevin Owens turns on Cody Rhodes and costs Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns the match. It makes sense. There's been a massive tease for this Kevin Owens heel turn, and there's a strong possibility that it can happen. Also, in terms of returns, it's very likely that we see the return of Jimmy Uso. We could also see the return alongside Jimmy Uso of the Wise Man. We could see both of them return to come to the aid of Roman Reigns. Now, we could go for some completely out there theories, but there's a possibility that Solo Sikoa and this outlaw bloodline add to their numbers, that they welcome in a new member. Potentially they recruit Zilla Fatu and he joins the faction. That would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind it, and then the numbers game is too much, and then of course the bloodline get the victory. I do believe, and I did say it in my previous predictions video, that the bloodline will win. I think there'll be some form of screw job going down 100%. Now, another likely outcome within that is that Jacob Fatu pins Roman Reigns. That would be shocking, that would be controversial, and it would certainly accelerate the storyline moving forward, teasing that Roman Reigns Jacob Fatu future match. Once we get, of course, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa out of the way, maybe they tease that for the future. But of course, the talk of the town at the moment is this video vignette tease from Cody Rhodes. And the biggest question a lot of people have got is, does this involve The Rock? Now, I don't think we see The Rock on the show, but there's well the possibility that The Rock is involved in this video vignette. And it's not completely ridiculous to think that maybe The Rock could show up at Bad Blood. Like, it could happen. It would be a huge surprise. It would surprise me. I personally can't see it happening, but it is a possibility. Anything can happen in WWE in 2024. Honestly, like, shenanigans are going to go down. Could WWE absolutely shock us? And the big man that Cody Rhodes was referring to was The Rock. And what if, in a shocking turn of events, The Rock costs Roman Reigns, turns on Roman Reigns? It's more likely and aligns himself with this outlaw bloodline. I could honestly see it. I don't think he'd side with Roman and Cody. I just can't see that being the case. Or maybe, just maybe, The Rock wants a shot at Cody Rhodes' undisputed title, and that comes as soon as Crown Jewel. Who knows? There's so many possibilities. We could see, in a shocking turn of events, Randy Orton screw Cody Rhodes. I don't think they're going to, and the reason I don't think they're going to at this moment in time is I still think if they're going to go with Cody Rhodes and The Rock at next year's WrestleMania, then if that doesn't happen, that doesn't materialise, they've always got the option to go with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania next year. So I still think they're not 100% committing to Cody Rock and keeping Orton and Cody Rhodes in their sort of back pocket, ready for a rainy day, if you like, when they need it. But it's possible, you know, Orton could swerve Cody. He could turn on Cody, and that would be a huge betrayal. Now, we could, and this is just absolutely ridiculous fantasy booking, and of course this depends on all the politics and all the legal shenanigans and all the lawsuits and all of that, and whether WWE are open to returning Brock Lesnar to WWE. What if Brock Lesnar was to return to WWE at Bad Blood and come to the aid of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes? And I know you're probably thinking, Wiz, you've been hanging around with Matt Riddle, smoking the wacky backy. Like, that's an outrageous fantasy booking scenario. But Brock Lesnar does respect Cody Rhodes. He respects Roman Reigns. Two former enemies of Brock Lesnar, for them to all come together. And imagine if we got Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton against the new bloodline at this year's Survivor Series War Games, assuming they add another member. Now, that would be outrageous. But I think the more likely, the more sensible situation is the bloodline get the victory here. This gives Roman more motivation to get revenge on the bloodline at Survivor Series War Games. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens go their separate way in a personal heated rivalry, with Kevin Owens surely at some point turning heel, and then we get the OG bloodline versus this new outlaw bloodline. What do you think? How do you think it's going to go down? Thank you so much for watching the video. As always, it'd be very much appreciated if you could like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new. Catch you in the next one.